Hi everyone, I'm Katarina, and this is my presentation on Module 5's Values, Conflicts, and Emotions. My top 5 values are honesty, trust, pursuing happiness, physical and emotional health, and standing up for what is right. These 5 values matter most to me because they shape how I interact with others and how I take care of myself. Honesty comes first because hiding the truth can damage relationships and create unnecessary conflict. Trust naturally follows honesty. When honesty is consistent, trust becomes stronger. Pursuing happiness is important because choosing activities and goals that bring joy improves my well being and often the well being of others around me. Physical and emotional health connects to happiness. When I do things that bring joy and reduce my stress, my overall health improves. And finally, standing up for what is right matters because correcting harmful behavior can make others feel safe, though it must be done at the right time and in the safe environment. And influences on my values, what has shaped my values. They were shaped by how I was raised. And as I got older, my first job taught me how important my emotional and physical health are. I realized that staying in a job that makes me unhappy affects every part of my life, so choosing to leave was an important moment for me. And my relationship with my fiance has also influenced my values, especially honesty, trust, and pursuing happiness together. Being committed to someone teaches you how important truthfulness is and how building trust takes daily communication and respect. And then, which model reflects my top 5 values? I connect them to several value orientations which are discussed in Chapter 3. So Halfstead's dimensions on individualism, low power distance, low uncertainty avoidance, and indulgence orientation. Going from that list, prioritizing personal happiness, independence, and speaking up for what is right reflects on individualistic orientation where personal goals are emphasized over group expectations. My value of honesty and treating others equally aligns with cultures that prefer equality and question authority. And then, let's see. Choosing happiness, adapting to change, and making decisions for personal well-being reflect comfort and ambiguity and flexibility. And prioritizing joy and emotional fulfillment reflects Halfstead's indulgence dimension, which emphasizes enjoying life. And then Kluckhohn and Strodbeck values orientation. So the human orientation is good or mixed. Valuing honesty and trust assumes people are capable of good and that openness strengthens relationships. Activity orientation, doing or pursuing goals, standing up for what is right, and working toward happiness aligns with a doing orientation focused on action and achievement. And relational orientation, individualistic, prioritizing independence and self-directed decisions reflect the individualistic relation orientation described in Chapter 3 as well. And then I also have Hall's high or low context. Low context. My values align with low context communication, which Chapter 3 also describes as valuing directness, clarity, and explicit honesty. And then what values are important to me? Knowing that honesty, trust, independence, and standing up for what is right matter to me helps me understand how intercultural conflict might appear in my life. So direct versus indirect communication. My preference for honesty and direct talk can create conflict with people from high context cultures who value indirect communication to maintain harmony. Different power distance expectations. Standing up for what is right may cause conflict in cultures that prioritize hierarchy and obedience to authority, or high power distance. Individualism versus collectivism. My focus on personal happiness and independence can clash with cultures that value group harmony over individual goals. Different comfort levels with confrontation. Choosing to speak up or address problems directly may be misinterpreted as aggressive in cultures that avoid open conflict. And ambiguity and intercultural conflict. As Chapter 11 explains, intercultural conflict is often ambiguous. The cause isn't clear because each person interprets behavior through their own values. And then how I handle intercultural conflicts using William Urie's advice. So his strategies give me practical tools for handling intercultural conflicts, especially when cultural differences create misunderstandings. Chapter 11 goes on to explain that intercultural conflict often involves ambiguity, different communication styles, and different expectations about emotion in face work. Because of this, I need to slow down, stay mindful, and consider how someone's culture values shape their actions. Using Yuri's advice, I can handle intercultural conflicts more respectfully and effectively by going to the balcony. So I don't react based on emotion or assumptions is important because Chapter 11 notes that cultures express emotion differently. Understand the other side. Listening carefully, especially when language or communication styles differ. Build a golden bridge so that the other person can agree without losing face, which connects to Chapter 11's discussion of cultural differences in face work. Focusing on interests, not positions. This helps me look beyond the surface disagreement and recognize deeper cultural values influencing the conflict. And be a third-sider by stepping back and considering the larger cultural or community context, as Chapter 11 also suggests when explaining how cultural backgrounds shape conflict behavior. These strategies allow me to approach intercultural conflict with more empathy, patience, and cultural awareness rather than assuming that my way of communicating is the correct one. And these are my references. Thank you for listening and watching. Bye!